The Slenderman is an alleged paranormal figure supported to have been in existence for centuries, covering a large geographic area. Believers in the Slenderman ties his appearances and with many other legends around the world, including fear or the Dark Man. In Scotland, the Dutch Tegman, Branchman, and the German of Merman or the Horseman, the Tall Man appearance. The Slender Man is a being in male appearance who looks like a man with extremely long, slender arms and legs. He also appears to have 4 to 8 long black tentacles that protrude from his back, though different photographs and enthusiasts disagree on this fact, and therefore is theorized he can contract these tentacles at will. He is described as wearing a black suit, extremely similar to the vintage of the Norman's Men in Black, and as the name suggests, appears very thin and able to stretch his limbs and torso to inhuman length in order to induce fear and ensnare his prey. Once his arms are outstretched, his victims are put into something of a hypnotized state where they are utterly helpless to stop themselves from walking into them. He also able to create tendrils from his fingers and back that he uses to walk on a similar flashline to Dr. Octopus. The superhuman stretching ability could also be seen as a similarity between himself and Mr. Fantastic. Whether he absorbs, kills, or mercilessly takes his victims to undiscovered locations or diminishes is also unknown, as there are never any bodies or evidence left behind in his wake to dissuade a defined conclusion. His face is pale and slightly ghostly, and almost appears to have been wrapped in a type of gauze or cloth. His facial features are also subject to debate, and many people believe that his face looks different to each person, if it is seen at all. He sometimes is portrayed as wearing a hat, which is sometimes a bower or fedora, or sometimes a top hat. He may also have been seen wearing long flowing neckties or scarves, which is either red or gray. He often keeps his long, pale hands crossed protrude behind his back or hanging loosely at his sides. His suit is black, sometimes portrayed as pinstripe in artwork. A common version thanks to the very similar Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas. He has long coattail which he lets flow very proudly. He wears long dress shoes which he always shine a perfect gleaming black behavior. Much of this fantastic Slender Man is rooted overall aura of mystery that he is wrapped in. Despite fact it is rumored he kills children almost exclusively, it is difficult to say whether or not his objective is slaughter. Oftentimes it is early reported or recorded that he can be found in sections of woods, and these generally tend to be subtained. He also has been reported seen with large groups of children, as many photographs portray. It is commonly true that he resides in woods and forests and prey on children. He seems uncontent with being exposed in the daylight or captured in photos. He is often thought as well that he enjoys stalking people who become overly paranoid about his existence, purposefully giving them glimpses of himself in order to further frighten them. For this reason, it seems like Slenderman very much enjoys precisely torturing his victims. He also appears to float or drift around rather than walk, which suggests the possibility of him being either real being, rather a creature or a man. This would also explain why he is able to remain mobile in spite of his poorly presented body, even though Slenderman was founded on something awful forms, or was he? Some people already have claimed sightings. He is seen mostly at night, peering into open windows, and walks in front of lone motorists on scheduled roads. His main intentions appear to be kidnapping children, as when he is seen near them in photographs. They usually disappear shortly afterwards. The Slender Man also has inspired many stories, such as those marble hornets in the end, though his purpose remained unknown. An interesting take on the Slender Man by a Pasta member who's relying on Marble Hornet series for evidence as facts or historical references, using cave paintings. The earlier argued reference to the lead legend is within the cave paintings found in National Park in northern Brazil, which is believed to date from far back from 900 BC. These paintings show a strangely intelligent character leading a child by hand, but make no reference to the extra appendages. Egyptian hieroglyphs. The next known possible reference to the Slender Man comes from around 1300 BC in Lower Egypt. The reference to the thief of gods or the thief tomb becoming commonly placed during the region of cave carvings represent the thief were found in the Pharaoh tombs, who is rumored to have in some kind of encounter with the entity. The carvings resembled a strange figure with multiple upper limbs. One of them has never been found in the other filtered language. German woodcuts and renowned German woodcutters Hans Frankenberg created at least 2 woodcuts featuring a character he described as Der Ritter the Knight. During the mid-16th century, there was a discovery in Helps Castle in 1883, which Frankenberg was well known for his realistic description of human anatomy. Some things was usually unusual among woodcuts of the time. These pictures feature a skeleton multi-limbed characters. Historians are unsure of the exact symbol of the nature of this character, some claiming that it is representative of the religion wars and rage in Europe at the time, while others say it represents the mysterious plagues that have been believed to be the reason for the mysterious abandoning of the Augsburg Castle and the nearby village in 1543. However, many insist that Frankenberg was attempting to represent the tall man. According to the legend, he was a fairy who lived in the Black Forest. Bad children who crept into the woods at the night would be recently chased by the tall man, who wouldn't leave them be until he either caught them or were forced to tell their parents of their wrongdoing. Even then, there was a chilling account from an old journal dating from about 1702 Roman mythology. There is also a fairy tale which tells the legend of the tall man, featuring its description, which may have taken to reference to the Slender Man. The tall man stood in clear, dressed as a nobleman, all in black. Shadows lay over him, dark as a cloudy midnight. He also had many arms, as long and boneless as snakes, all sharp as swords, and they were written like worms on nails. He did not speak, but made his intentions known. In the fairy tale, the tall man causes his mother to kill her husband and child before he slid from a fireplace and clenched her in his burning embrace. English mythology. There's also an English myth referencing to the tree man, who is said to have a slim body with edges that look like tree branches. He is known to be seen in the woods and is used as a story that parents told their children to dissuade bad behavior. There has been quite a few disappearances of children who have been said to be linked to the tree man.